UFC Fight Night, Perez vs. Taira just finished, and we're gonna go over what went down this card, why it was so bad, Bisping's delusional self, and UFC's master plan to get into the Japanese market. All right, starting off with this card, nothing much to say. I'm not gonna lie. The prelims were not it. Shout out to the two women for actually giving us some type of performance, surprisingly. But the dudes did not step up today. Let's be real. Some very dry fights. I don't even want to talk about any of these fights. Let's be real here. Let's go straight to the main card. Not even gonna lie. Josh Quanlan versus Adam Fugit. I mean, what can I even say about this fight? Pretty dry. Josh Quanlan showed that he had a pretty good chin today, even though Adam Fugit has some of the slowest punches and kicks I've seen in a while. But he did hit Josh with some good head kicks, some good jabs. Other than that, very dry fight. Surprised a judge gave it to Josh though. One judge actually did give it to Kwanlan, which kind of surprising. I feel like Adam Fugi was pushing the limits and actually trying to win the fight, even though God he is slow, unbearably slow. Watch that fight. Watch that fight. His his head kicks are incredibly slow. Like you can see them coming in from a mile away. All right, second fight. Asu Almabaya versus Jose Johnson. By the way, 6 foot Jose Johnson at 125 pounds. What is going on? I would love to see how this man cuts weight. That is not natural. You should not be 125 pounds at 6 foot. He looked like a pencil in there. But he did show off some good defensive grappling against Almabayev, who did a good on the feet. He did okay on the feet. He was able to land a spinning wheel kick. Or I don't think it was spinning, I think it was just a wheel kick. But it landed square on Jose's chin. He looked pretty good on the feet. Not as good as Jose though, because he has long legs, long arms. He is a pencil in that ring. Almabayev gave us some good takedowns, some good offensive grappling, but Jose has some very good defensive grappling. Can't really complain. Almabayev has some good reversals. Nothing much to say here. He went for some submissions. Jose defended them all. But pretty clear win on Asu Almabayev. A lot stronger than Jose, as you can tell on the ground. This fight, I don't know how I got performance of the night. I wasn't the biggest fan of this fight. It was okay. A lot of grappling, a lot of wrestling. I really not too much to say about this fight. Good win for Brady, but not really the fan. Not really a fan of this fight. Timmy Kwamba versus Lucas Almeida. Now, this fight was I actually enjoyed it. Timmy Kwamba, he looked a lot faster than Lucas Almeida, a lot faster, but he is one-dimensional as ever. Oh my God, this man needs to get a new boxing coach or something. He just looked too one-dimensional. There was just nothing to his game. There was a 1-2 and that's about it. But the 1-2 ain't gonna win you this fight. Lucas Almeida had a lot of power, had good accuracy, hit him with a couple of shots, he dropped Kwamba 3 times in that fight. Very impressive win by Lucas Almeida. But shout out to Kwamba. He got up all 3 times after being knocked down, and he got hit with some good shots. And in the third round, he was actually going for the finish, but he just ran out of juice, ran out of time. He just had nothing left. But shout out for Kwamba. He showed us some good heart, but goddamn, he needs some new techniques because that was not it on the feet. But good one from Lucas Almeida. Very good one. All right, co-main event. Douglas Silva de Andrade against Miles Johns. Okay fight. They're kind of just fighting each other at range. Sometimes they're going to the pocket and duke it out, but not much of that. Miles Johns was a kind of clear win there. He landed some good kicks, some good punches, but other than that, pretty dry fight, in my opinion. The actual what I was surprised to see in this fight is look over here to Andrade. Look at his face. This man, I was watching the fight and I googled this man's age. He is 38 years old. If you look at him right now, he does not look 38. And by the way, when he was fighting, he had no hair. He went like completely bald for this fight. He looked about 70. Not really because of his like motions or like his body, but if you look at his face only and his head, God, he looks old. He looks ancient. Like in this picture, you can see it. Cut off this neck and chest, and just show a picture to somebody of just his face. He looks ancient. it was really surprising to see him fight. God damn, he looks ancient. What more can I say? Please go watch this fight. Go watch him. He does not look like his body. He's of course chiseled, and obviously you can tell he's not 70, but it's something about his face, bro. But shout out to Miles John. Shout out to both of them. It was a good fight. It was an okay fight. But overall, this card pretty boring so far. I mean, not really much to talk about. Then we get to the main event. Alex Perez against Tatsuro Taira for the main event. Number 5 in the rankings, number 13 in the rankings, coming down for a main event of Fight Night. In the first round, Taira actually traded with Alex a lot on the feet. He didn't go for one takedown, just traded with Alex, and Alex pretty dominant round one. Pretty dominant round one. Round two, Taira finally shoots some takedowns, mixed in the grappling, got on Alex's back. Alex kind of lost his balance with the whole body lock that Taira had. He lost his balance, fell on the floor, buckled his knee. He kind of like twisted his knee, dislocated it, screaming in pain on the ground, tapping immediately after falling with Taira on his back, with Taira on his front actually. And yeah, he just dislocated his knee, tapped out. He lost that event. He lost his fight. But good win for Taira. I mean, it was a good back take. He was sort of like he was on his back, but onto the side a little. Very good technique there. He was on the side, trying to like trying to make Alex lose his balance to get on the floor. Good technique. He got a little lucky with Alex buckling his knee, but he looked dominant in round two. Shout out for that. And then we get to this man right here. Michael Bisping comes out, interviews Tatsuro Taira with some of the most delusional, some of the most delusional interview questions I've ever seen. This man comes out and says that he thinks he just watched one of the most dominant performances ever. He says that. He says ever. Michael Bisping has not been in the game for a short time. He's a vet. He's been here for a while. For him to say that, that is insane. Especially given that Taira was not dominating the fight whatsoever. In round one, he was getting pieced up by Alex, right? He was getting pieced up. In fact, let's go to the judges' scorecards. Right here, here they are. Every single judge, all three of them, scored a 10-9 for Alex Perez. So, what is Michael Bisping talking about? What is he on about? Is his missing eye getting to him? Like, what is going on here? When I heard that, I was like, like, what am I watching right now? Like, what's going on? Then he comes out. He tried to imply that like Tatsuro Taira was like training for like he was trying to give him credit for like the knee buckling and for the knee dislocation. And he should get some credit. It was good technique on the body lock and he was on his back. Good technique for the off balance trip. But what like he obviously wasn't training to buckle his knee. You know that obviously wasn't part of the plan. He looked surprised when that happened when he tapped out. Right? He looked surprised. Now, this comes down to what is Michael Bisping trying to do? He's just glazing Taira. 2 questions in, he's glazing him, giving him full credit. He says the cleanest win he's seen ever. Just absolute dog shit. What is he talking about? Now, why could Michael Bisping be glazing Tatsuro Taira so much? What is going on here? Is there some kind of incentive? What is going on? Is he just delusional? I think otherwise. I think I know what's going on. I think this is part of the UFC's, hear me out, the UFC's master plan to break into the Japanese market. Now, listen to this. I got some evidence. I'm not going to just say stuff. Let's look at this right here. Dana White, this is when Dana White was announcing the 303 replacement for the McGregor card. Now, people were able to look at, so this is the UFC 303 poster. Down here, people were able to point out that this is potentially, or most definitely actually, the UFC 305 poster. The reason being that somebody's fighting for a belt over here, and people made it out to be Israel Adesanya. This is obviously the PEREZ card, UFC 305, Israel Adesanya versus DDP, very obvious to us. And people were able to make out all the names on that card, or some of the names, right? We have Israel Adesanya, Song Yadong, JDM, Steve Erceg, Drakkar Klose. By the way, banger card, very good card. I'm excited for this one. However, one of these names don't belong maybe on the main card, some people might say. Maybe not so far up. Which one could it be? This name right here, Song Yadong. UFC bantamweight, just came off a loss with Peter Yan. And he is on the co-main event, it seems like. Now, ask yourself, does Song Yadong deserve a co-main event over JDM, Seaverse, like even Jagar Close, right? Ask yourself, who could he be fighting that would make the UFC put him on the co-main event? Who could it be? Let's look over here. Kai Asakara to leave Rising, sign exclusive deal with the UFC. Kai Asakara has vacated his 135-pound Rising Championship to sign an exclusive deal with the UFC. Now, who is this guy? Who is Kai Asakura? He is a big name in Japan. He's a Japanese MMA fighter fighting out of Rising. Big celebrity in Japan, has a YouTube channel, gets hundreds of thousands of views. He seems to be pretty likable as a character. He's a good fighter. Most importantly, he is now in the UFC as of June 9th. This article came out. He fights at 135 pounds, known as the bantamweight division in UFC. You know who else is a bantamweight? Song Yadong. So a Japanese fighter coming to the UFC is now fighting on a co-main event. This is the UFC's master plan to break into the Japanese market. Now, I want to tell you guys, this is a good thing. Make this very clear. This is a good thing for the UFC. It's a good thing for all of us. Breaking into this big market leads to more pay-per-views, more content for the fans, and overall more interest and more clicks on the UFC. This is what we want to see. This is a good thing. But this is the master plan behind the UFC. Think about it. We just had a fight card um, with Taira as the main event, right? We just had this fight card right here, Tatsuro Taira as the main event. Now we're going to UFC 305 with a co-main event of Song Yadong against Kai Asakura. If Kai Asakura was to win this, this is a big expansion into the Japanese market. This is more clicks on it. By the way, UFC Perth in Australia shares the same time zone as Japan. A lot of Japanese people are going to be watching this, big fans of Kai Asakura, and a lot of people are going to be watching this. Same time zone, perfect timing. This is the UFC's master plan. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. Are you excited for this new card? Are you excited for new fans coming in? And most importantly, this UFC 305 card looks sick. I'm excited. Let me know in the comments. Please like and share.